Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Hello, hello, hello! It's Thursday, and you know what Thursday means? We're thirsty. Who's thirsty? I am. And Jocelyn's in the house. Alice, Doris, and Kathy so far are here. This week, we're going to be winding up and putting together a nice big package of identity. We're going to talk about identity today. And today we're going to go one step further into not only what your identity is about, how it affects you, etc., but how to change your identity. And I'm not talking about, trying to pull a fast one or identity theft or any of that stuff. I'm talking about how you see yourself and how you want to be, because there's a bridge that we have to travel on that. You know that. Jeanette and Jackie, the Jays are walking in. Jocelyn, Jeanette, Jackie, all in a row. So good to have you here. So we're going to talk about that. And I love this one because I've lived this one implicitly. And I have some things to show you. I've got a little picture to show you and some other things because I'm kind of proud of it. I've got a couple of things that I'm working on. So hi, Linda. We also, as you know, we have relaunched our Crave Water, and again, flying out the door. You know why? Because it is the effectiveness of L-glutamine, because that is precisely what it is. And it tastes just like lemonade. It's delicious. So find this at savingdinner.com/Crave Water. And here's what I want you to know. I'm going to show you exactly how to make it, and I'm going to show you exactly how to take it. That's important. This isn't a sipping drink. This isn't something we drink ladylike. This is something we slug down. But it tastes good, just like lemonade. There's stevia in it. There's a touch of citric acid, a little bit of MCT oil, and the rest is all L-glutamine, right? That's what we want in a good product. You don't want to see a bunch of extraneous ingredients that you don't need, right? We don't need to do anything with good quality ingredients. So savingdinner.com/Crave Water. If you've got cravings out of control, you can get them back in control. And I'm telling you, it's a game changer, absolute game changer. The other thing that I want you to know is that we have our digital product sale. We're calling it Name Your Price Sale. Seriously, name your price. If you go to savingdinner.com/show, you will see all the big array of digital stuff that we have to offer. We have this stuff sitting in a vault. I want it to do some good. I want it to help you. I want you to be able to say, you know what, we eat like this. This is going to help me out, and pay a price that you can afford. And that's what we've done in this sale. And we are, I'm proud of every single thing that comes out of this shop because we work hard on these things. These are not just things that we just put together. It takes a big old village, and we're all working our little fingers to the bone, and it's to support you. We're on a mission. We're on a mission to equip every single woman on this planet to help her feel good in her own skin and to give her the tools that she needs. This is just one more tool. So you can find that again at savingdinner.com/show. That is where we keep all the good stuff, right? Speaking of good stuff, you buy the good stuff from us, all the stuff that you've been buying from us. By the way, thank you. You support us. We want to support you back by saying, here's your free shipping. You spend $300 in our shop, we're going to give you free shipping if you live in the lower 48. It's that simple. And it's just a small thing that we can do, but it's a big deal too, because it does cost us money. We don't get free shipping. We pay for the shipping, right? But I'm happy to do that when you're supporting us. And it's a good way, a sweet way for us to say thank you And it's a great way for you to continue to support us. It's not just me, it's all of us. So thank you. What else do we have going on? Let me go look in my secret notes that you can't see. Our Etsy shop is open with all the swag. Now, we have a whole array of things that you have not seen in our Etsy shop. It's very easy to get there. Go to savingdinner.com/Etsy. ETSY. I'm telling you, get on that. Get on that. And our quote of the week, if you want to increase your success rate, double your failure rate. Isn't that the truth? Have you noticed that the more times you fail, if you extrapolate that lesson, you do increase your rate of success because you've learned lessons from failure, right? We don't want to just fail for the sake of failure. We want to fail for the sake of learning the lesson and then being able to take that, apply it, and then succeed. That's how it works. The other thing, and the very last thing, and it's a big, big deal, by the way, is the Hot Melt 30. That is coming up. Who's going? Pinkies up if you plan on being there. It's Monday night, by the way. And this is where all the action's going to be, because this is exactly what we're talking about. Talk about identity. When you start to identify yourself as someone who eats in an anti-inflammatory way, that's just part and parcel of what you do, not just for a 7-day blip once a month, but this is who you are, then you get the consequences and the happy side effects of living less pain in your life, less inflammation in your life, definitely weight loss, and definitely clear thinking, definitely all the things that you want. Vibrancy, maybe? Go grab your seat. It starts on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And remember, we record everything. So even if you can't make it, go get your seat, because that's the only way you can see it. That's savingdinner.com/30 THIRTY. Yay. Okay. So let's get into the meat of the matter, shall we? Because we have been talking this week about identity. and the week before, last week, we were talking about priorities. And it occurred to me, I kind of put the cart before the horse, shall we say, because really your priorities are dictated by how you identify yourself and how you see yourself and what you're about. And today I want to talk about this idea of identity and how it's a transformative journey, especially when you've decided that's not who I want to be. Because that is, sometimes that's what happens. A light bulb goes off and you go, wait a minute. This is what's going on in my life. This is what I'm doing. That's not what I want, right? So that means that your identity has to shift to meet the identity that you so desire. That's how this whole thing works. Oftentimes we don't think in those terms. We just think, give me the plan. Let's do this and let's do that. And we just keep doing things. This is why we oftentimes see people who've lost a lot of weight put on the weight back because they still identify as being a heavier person. This is why lottery winners half the time lose all their money, because they still identify as being poor. So your identity of who you are is crucial to obtaining what it is that you so desire. And this, I just want you to dial that right in right now. Okay? Who I am is always going to be reflected with what you do, not what you say, not necessarily what you say, unless what you say, what you do all connects. In that case, we have the perfect alignment assignment, which is what we're all looking for. Alignment is beautiful. It's flow. It's vibrancy. It's simple. It's easy. And it takes a minute to get there. But once we get there, wow, doesn't everything change? Well, as much as changing one's identity is a transformative journey, it does require commitment to it, self-awareness, and strategic actions. But before anything, it requires a decision. It requires noticing that it isn't just about the plan. It isn't just about the money, if or whatever, if you were trying to get wealthy. It isn't just about X, Y, and Z. It's about becoming the person who you need to be in order to have that and have that be a part of your identity. Does that make sense? Because I'm telling you, that right there is the money statement. That right there is the thing that you can take to the bank and cash in. Okay? Because if you get that, then you can get the rest of it. The rest of it's going to come easy. This is why we're so disconnected from ourselves. This is why we're disconnected and we don't connect those dots. This is why I talk about this all the time, that it has to be heart, mind, body, and soul, because that's the entirety of who you are as a human being, who you are as a woman, and who you want to be, and who the identity that you even want to attain in the future. So let's get into this, because this, while this is all transformative, while it requires this self-awareness and the commitment and the strategic actions to get there, the first thing it requires is a decision. I want to be X. This is who I want to be. This is who I want to show up in the world as. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this anymore. I see this all the time too. When I've got we've got 156,000 people following us on TikTok. And I get a lot of smokers and what have you. And one of my things with these smokers is I'll say, identify as a non-smoker. Don't identify as, if what we're looking at always is, like having these regrets about not being able to fill in the blank about something. Well, that's not going to help. I mean, I told you this story one time when I had it. It was one of my early full blooms. And people came to my house in Colorado, and this woman said, who was one of the attendees, she said, it's so hard because I don't get to have this, and I don't get to have this, and I don't get to have that. And she'd lost like 60 pounds, eating hot melt whey. And I say, but let's look at what you do get to have. You get to have this. You are privileged to be able to have this. You're privileged to be able to have that. Line up with that. And that's what this is. That's what we're talking about today, is lining up with what it is that you want to be. Then your actions are going to follow suit, and then you're going to become that. I've shared my story with you about, I am an athlete, and just going, it doesn't look much like an athlete here. Whoops, And it was when I took my eyes off myself and started putting my eyes on what it was that I wanted to attain for myself. To become the thing that I wanted to become is going to realign my actions. It's going to change my mind about what's on the end of my fork. It's going to change my mind about a lot of different things. And as you know, I started writing in my journal every single day. And this is how I do journal. This is how I do goal planning, by the way. And we have the best system, I think. It's Take Back Your Life journal. And in there, you have 12 weeks to build habits that are going to support the desired outcome you want. And we do that by taking the goal and drilling it down into I am statements that are in the present tense, affirming what it is that you want. They're intentional, they're affirmations, and it's done daily. And this is how we change our mind literally, and consequently change our actions, and consequently become the thing that we're trying to be. So my intentional goal statement that I had for this was, I am an athlete joyfully training at the table and the gym daily. Because for me, it was about being happy about this whole thing and not grudgingly dragging my body to the gym. And my gym, by the way, was at home. So, it was here. But this is the point, is that we have to embrace with joy, with gratitude, with anticipation, with, yes, this is great. This is what I want to do. This is who I want to be. Understanding, of course, that there's going to be struggle, because there's something that's going to come up and, you're all eating, let's get pizza, or let's go do this, or let's sit on the couch all night and just eat popcorn and ice cream and things. And that doesn't work for I am an athlete, does it? It's just bucks up against it. So what we have to do then is we have to start not just seeing ourselves in how we want to, but we have to embody and live out those things on a daily basis. It's the consistency that lines up our identity with who we want to become. It's a becoming thing. It's a becoming thing. And I love the word becoming because it means I am doing this. I'm having this change happen. And becoming isn't just something that's instantaneous and happening overnight. There's this whole process. We're shedding something and putting something else on. We're changing our mind about something and embracing something new. There's an exchange happening here. And that exchange sometimes isn't so delightful. Sometimes it's just, but I don't want that. I want it to be easy. I want this to da da da. I don't want to get out of my comfort zone. I want it to be so, simple, easy, without breaking a sweat. It just doesn't work that way. I don't know of anybody. I struggle. Sure did. But I'm going to tell you right now that during the struggle is where you birth new habits, new behaviors, new ideas. It's not quitting on yourself. Instead, it's leaning into the difficulty. And it's seeing that there is an outcome that you want at the end of it. The promise is there. It's like a rainbow, That doesn't mean that it's never going to rain again. That's what that rainbow does, right? You know what that rainbow does? That rainbow tells us that there is the promise of sunshine. That rainbow shows us that. There's always the promise of sunshine, but that doesn't mean the rain goes away. And that's how it is for us too, as we're going through all of this. So let's start with some ideas. What can we do? What are some strategies to help us as we are transforming, as we are becoming the women of our own dreams, as we are becoming these vibrant women that we want to be? And by the way, one other kind of preamble in this whole thing, don't dismiss yourself because you're not where you want to be. And don't throw the whole baby out with the bathwater, for heaven's sakes, because something isn't working in your life. Everything can't be wrong. It's not true. But there are certain things that you're saying, this just doesn't work. I don't like this. You can go to the place of not liking it, but don't go to the place of putting yourself down. Don't get personal. Don't start piling on yourself. Remember who you are and whose you are. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're here on purpose and for purpose. The fact that you want to transform and become and shift your identity a little bit is merely aligning yourself up with more, please, God. More, please. I want to be more for you. I want to serve better. I want to love better. I want to be more energetic. I want to be able to use all the gifts that you've given me. I want to be here to do the work. That's basically it. It's basically it. So let's look at this. What can we do? Well, number one is our narrative needs to change. The narrative of how we see ourselves. And I will tell you, there are so many things that I can talk to you about this because I had to work so hard on this myself. And the narrative is that we have this habit oftentimes of saying, well, I am just a couch potato. If couch potato is in your vocabulary, let's remove it because it doesn't help. It reinforces your brain, which has already created that pathway, by the way, of saying, yes, you're a couch potato. You sit on the couch. You eat ice cream. You eat chips. You eat cookies. You just, it's 5-6 hours a night. What are you talking about? It's what you do, or you're endlessly on your phone. And you've got to reprogram this. So we have to get into some reconstructive narrative. We have to. So start talking about it, and you can start where you are. You can start and say, once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away. I don't know, whatever you want to say. I used to X, Y, and Z. But now I see that in order for me to live my most vibrant life, that X, Y, and Z needs to happen. This is what I'm doing. This is who I'm becoming. This is what it's about. I am an athlete. I am a figure, whatever it is. I am a business owner. I am a whatever it is that you have in your in the place of that you want. You see this? Because if you're transitioning into something, then you've got to be looking at like, well, what can I do in order to move the needle and to make something happen? Well, maybe like, for example, say you wanted to be a runner. Maybe sign up for a 5K in October. It's August now. October, 8 weeks from now. And maybe half the time you run it and walk it. You are a runner. You are a runner. You're an athlete. You're out there doing it. And you put yourself out there and you started to transform the narrative of what you're talking about and what you're doing because of it. Number 2 is embracing the discomfort. Did we not talk enough about that? You're going to get uncomfortable. You're going to be wanting to go back to what it is that you know. It is the Oregon trails in your brain, those divots that have been there forever and ever, and the wagon wheels just want to fall into them. But instead, if we start looking at it from a completely different perspective and start saying, I'm going to build that trail. I am going to build this whole thing, and come hell or high water, there could be the biggest rock in the middle of it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build around it, or I'm going to build right over the top, or whatever it is. But I had that in my brain when I was doing all of this stuff and I was trying to figure this stuff out. I had every tool at my disposal. And there I was, on the spin bike, trying my darndest to get into it. I gave it everything I had, everything, until I finally said, I hate this. I'm never going to get into this. Now, my sister's huge into that, by the way. She's like spin queen. She loves it. I thought, well, if she liked it, runs in the family, maybe I will too. But I found I liked bar better. I found that I liked lifting weights better. And then I discovered pickleball, and, game over at that point. Then everything became about pickleball, and everything else was supportive so that I could play better pickleball. Lucky me. But we all have that opportunity if we are out there doing these things, if we are out there changing these things up. Number 3 is a big deal. And I will tell you that I don't know the single solitary soul who hasn't done this. Well, let me just put it to you this way. If you don't do this, you're not going to get what you want. And that is change your environment. You simply cannot thrive in a place where your environment is reflecting everything you don't want. If you want visual peace, you got to get rid of the clutter. If you want clean eating, you got to get rid of the crap in your pantry and fridge. If you want athletic endeavors, then go get the shoes, right? Go get the shoes and what have you. But change it up, set it up so that you have what it is that you need. For me, I had the spin bike, I had the weights, I had the mat, I had the barbell, all of that. And guess what? I use all of it now, but not the bike. No more bike. Got rid of it, but I use the app all the time. I've got a program that I'm doing. I'm lifting weights, and by gum, I can show you something. I did this, but if you can see, look at the muscle. I got muscle, baby. I wanted to show you that. I'm so proud of that. From nothing, now I got some guns. My shoulders are coming right along. So I'm really excited about that. I'm seeing the result of the decision that I made and the difficulty and obstacles that I went through to get there. But I will tell you, by gum, that environment was set up and is still set up and 100% supports me. Not just with gym equipment, but quote deck, quotes everywhere that are going to help me through. Things that I'm still working on 3x5s, working on this, working on that. starting the day every day with meditation and journaling so that I have my track on. All of these things work you into a brand new identity, the one that you chose, by the way, not something that's been given to you by default, the one that you chose. Isn't that so cool? This is really, I think this is so great. And you can embody this too. Make an avatar of yourself. You can do that on Facebook, by the way. Make avatars of yourself. Make an avatar of yourself with your flexed muscles, or make an avatar of yourself doing the thing that's so cool that you wanted to do. Little things like that all add up. They help to change your mind. And as you change your mind, you change your actions. As you change your actions, you get toward your goal. That's what this is all about. And the other thing that I would say, and I did, this is what I did when I was on my big weight loss journey, is I invested in the things that I wanted. So I invested in a pair of jeans. So if I was in a size, like I started with maybe a size, way back, I started in a size 18, and I kept buying pants. I bought the 16, I bought the 14, I bought the 12, I bought the 8, the 10, the 8. I did all of that. And what I wanted, and the reason that I'm telling you this is because to me, it wasn't so that I could shame myself. Good, no, of course not. I mean, if that's something that you find, well, that's just going to make me feel bad, then don't do it. But what this did was it supported me. It said, yeah, this is part of your journey. This is where you're going. And right down to the size 6 jeans where I finally ended up, Yeah, you know what? My legs are just a little thicker than they used to be. And I don't know if that has to do with all the whatever, but my jeans, I can get them on. They're just a little tight. So anyway, the thing that I think having something like this that represents the goal and that represents what it is that you're trying to accomplish is super helpful. So do that. The other thing is to find yourself a ritual. Find yourself a ritual that works for you and put it in your morning or your evening ritual and do it every single day, because this is exactly what it is that you are trying to get accomplished. I put my workout clothes or my pickleball clothes out first thing in the evening. It sets me up to know that this is what I'm going to do first thing in the morning. So I've got them on right now, and it's that simple. It is that simple, but it's a reminder of this is who I am and this is what I'm doing. That easy. The other thing is you can do a little artistic expression, and I'll tell you the best person for that is Patsy. Back to that spin bike. I think I showed you the little cross stitch that she did of me on the spin bike saying, I am an athlete. And I will tell you that was one of the most meaningful things I've ever received as a gift. And it's always, even though I don't spin, it's a reminder of who I am and what I'm about, so that my identity stays where I want it to stay. That identity is always shape-shifting a little bit, isn't it? Yes, it is. Of course it is. Because as I evolve, as I become better at something, then my goals are going to shift with that. And I can still be constantly looking for ways to, support that. But this is a reminder of the fact that I am an athlete, and it means everything. All right. The other thing that I strongly suggest is that you align yourself with a community and also express it to the community. This is what I'm about. This is what I'm trying to do. This is how I'm trying to shift my identity. This is where I am currently. This is where I want to go. I dare you to put it out there, because when you put that stuff out there, now it is out. God and everybody's seen it. And now somebody's going to say to you, I'm going to come alongside you. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. I can help because I've been there. Or, I'm trying to do this too. Let's do it together. I can't tell you the power of that when we have a community, and especially when we have a buddy who's going to, come right alongside. And the other thing is, I just want you to start changing your language, right? Your language matters. If you constantly say, I'm a couch potato, but I'm really trying to change, and I hope I can do this, and blah, blah, blah. That is all the language of just drivel. It doesn't help. I am an athlete in training. I am becoming the athlete of my own dreams. I am this woman. And I struggled with this because I didn't look like her. It was 30 pounds ago too, by the way. Didn't look like her. I do a little bit more now, but come on, I'm 65 years old. I still look like I look like a 65-year-old woman, but a 65-year-old woman with muscle at my ideal weight, feeling pretty darn good in my skin. Nothing hurts, right? All of that's kind of working out for me. So I'd say to you, become her with what's coming out of your mouth as well as what your actions are. Don't go back to the old whatever. You don't need to do that. You don't have to be who you were. You need to be who you're becoming. Those are the words that count. Hey, Karen and Gisela, good to have you here. Super important stuff. Super important. Underline that if you're taking notes. Otherwise, they'll be in tomorrow's show notes. The other thing is show and tell. And I love this about Tanya. I mean, Tanya lost 135 pounds and she shared that, in our Hot Milk Sprint group on Facebook. And she has a show and tell. She's got her before pictures. She's got her after pictures. And it's not there to make anybody feel bad. It's there to show that here's where I was. Here's where I am now. I did this work, right? Because if you're trying to do something similar, that shouldn't make you feel bad. That should inspire the heck out of you. Here's somebody just like you who made that decision. It started with a decision and she changed her identity. And if you read her posts, you'll see how she keeps working on all of that, And that's exactly where it's at, It's exactly where it's at. And then, if you're going to visualize this stuff, put it down, put it on your vision board. On my vision board right now, my Vibrant vision board, I have a picture of, oh gosh, now I can't think of her name. I can see her in my mind's eye, but she's older than I am. And she is a fitness guru. She's been around forever. And she does, she used to do all the videos and everything like that, but she's got her arm up and it's flexed. There's muscle definition. And I'm like, I put that on my board because I want to have muscle definition. Remember this, when your muscle is on fire, it is a metabolism killer, right? Or it kills fat and it helps to, it's an endocrine muscle. It really is. It changes your whole metabolism. Denise Austin, Kathy, you're so good. Yes, Lisa, exactly. Yay, Tanya. We're proud of her. But Denise Austin, and I was so impressed with her. And, she's not like all fakey looking. She's 66. She looks fantastic. And she's taking really good care of herself. And it all shows. I want that too. As an athlete, that's how I want to show up, right? Not so that people can admire my muscle, but so I can feel good in my own skin. Because with all of that comes that feel good in your own skin. And that's what changing your identity is all about anyway, right? I don't feel good like this, so I want to become this. So if that's you and you're saying, this is what I want. Well, it's going to require, number one, a decision. This is what I want. I want to be this. And then you stop saying, I want to be this and start saying, I am becoming this. And you start doing things that all follow suit. And it's a daily thing. It's a decision that you make daily. It is actions that you take daily that eventually become into habits and then eventually become just a part of who you are. You don't even think about it anymore. Isn't that cool? So I want to say this to all of you who are listening right now. I want you to think about this hard. Think about, am I who I want to be? Am I showing up in this world the way I need to? Or is something a little out of whack? What can I fix? What can I change in my identity that's going to help me to become the most powerful version of myself? Because I will tell you right now, you are here on purpose and for purpose, created by God himself. And he doesn't make junk. And you're not a biological accident. There is so much about you that probably you don't even know about yet. The strength inside, the creativity, the willingness that's there, the persistence, the resilience. Have you thought about that? Because this is what all comes into play as you start deciding, I want this to be my life's journey. I want to become this. That's what I have for you this week. this whole identity thing. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was good food for thought. And I'm still going to challenge you. If you are saying, I do want something a little bit different, I do want this, and you're interested in becoming the woman of your own dreams, I invite you to go into the Hot Melt Sprint group and state that. And ask for people to come alongside and watch what happens. That's the magic of a community. That is the brilliance and the passion of the sisterhood. Thank you so much for showing up, by the way. Martha, nice to have you here, by the way. Virginia. Love you all. So appreciate you. Remember, if there's anything that you might have missed from the beginning of the show, it's at savingdinner.com/announcements. That's where we keep everything. Monday, we are going to be having our Hot Melt 30 webinar. You're going to want to be there. That's at savingdinner.com/30. Spell that out, THIRTY. Until Monday, have a great weekend. I appreciate you all. Peace be with you.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.